Thank you so much for being here tonight. This is just, we couldn't have thought of a better way to start things off this evening. Welcome to the 7th Annual Maryland Traditions ALTA Awards. Maryland Traditions is a program of the Maryland State Arts Council, and we are being hosted this evening by Montgomery College. Thank you to Dr. Hawkins and to Siobhan Quinn here at Montgomery College. It's a pleasure to be here. So, we have a lot of stuff in store for you this evening, and we have some people to thank before we get underway. We have some friends here from the National Endowment for the Arts this evening who have made much of what you've seen so far possible. They give us generous support, and so thank you to the NEA for joining us this evening. We also have friends here from the Library of Congress and the American Folklore Center. Thank you to the Maryland State Arts Council staff for joining us. I am very fortunate to get to work with the wonderful staff at the Arts Council and our Executive Director, Teresa Cole. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with Maryland Traditions, let me just give you a brief introduction. We've been working for 40 years, the Folklife program at the Arts Council, to document, sustain, and celebrate living traditions here in Maryland. We work through partnerships. Several of our partners are here this evening. I mentioned the National Council for the Traditional Arts, who are producing tonight's event, so let's give it a warm welcome. The Ward Museum of Wildfowl Art in Salisbury is here tonight. Frostburg State University, Sandy Spring Museum, and University of Maryland, Baltimore County. So this is the 7th Annual ALTA Awards. We're going to get things started with Dr. Cindy Bird. Cindy, are you here? We give out 3 of these each year in the category of people, place, and tradition. And we are going to start things off with the tradition category. Hello, Cindy.
Hello.
Put your hands together for Dr. Cindy Bird, who will be joined by several friends who came, I believe, the longest this evening from the farthest away, all the way from Sharptown, Maryland. That is on the lower eastern shore. They came up in an amazing caravan to join us tonight. So please put your hands together, make them feel at home here. Well, Cindy, I'll let you do the introduction, but we have some excellent stuff in store. So, Cindy, take it away.
Thank you. So, you guys will see on the screen behind us some of the wonderful pictures taken by Edwin Remsburg of the Carnival and the context in which these ladies do their amazing work. But I'm going to introduce each of the 3 of them and then have each of them talk about their role in this and give us a little bit of the history. So the Sharptown Carnival has been around since 1926, if I'm remembering my dates correctly, and it has been primarily a fundraiser to serve the Sharptown Fire Department. It's been very successful. It's well known across the eastern shore of Maryland and elsewhere. People come from several states around to attend. And one of the big draws of this festival is the Ferris wheel. No. The big draw of the festival is, and the thing that everybody takes away and talks about on their blog, are the Sharptown Carnival's very famous oyster fritter sandwiches. So we've brought out here some of the ladies. There are about 14 of them here, but we've got 3 of them with us as our guest of honors to talk about the history of the tradition and also how it's doing now and how they see it going forward. So to introduce our 3 ladies, here to my left is Chris Gosnell. She's the current president of the Sharptown Firemen Ladies Auxiliary. Next to her is Sylvia Marva Gosley. She's been involved with the making of the oyster fritters for many, many years, and her family has been involved in it for generations, actually, as is true for many of the ladies who are involved, and men. And finally, to Ms. Marva's left is Ivalee Wheatley. I'm a little tongue-tied. Ivali is the last remaining charter member of the Sharptown Firemen's Ladies Auxiliary. So we have 3 sort of VIPs here to give us the scoop. So I wanted to ask Chris to tell us a little bit about the carnival itself, and which is the context in which everybody comes to get their oyster fritter. So can you just give us a little introduction to the carnival?
Okay, the carnival runs the month of August for 21 nights. It starts the first Thursday of August and ends the 4th Saturday of August. We're closed on Sunday. We have food, rides, and of course what we call the cook tent. It's not really a tent, but I think it was at one time. We serve oyster sandwiches, which is why we're here, soft crabs, and homemade hamburgers and hot dogs. Our funds that we raise support the fire department, and that's very, very important to us.
So you mentioned the cook tent. Could I ask you to pass over to Miss Ivali? And I would like to, you were telling me about this, so I know that you were there when these things changed over the years. How have the facilities in which you've been working and serving the public changed over the years?
Well, they've changed drastically. We tore down the old one 3 years ago and built a twice as big, so we have more room. So we're really having progress.
Their facilities are a big, beautiful, shining, professional restaurant-style kitchen now. So I think many of us, people who love to cook, would love to cook there. And talk just for a minute about just the labor that's involved. I know that you mentioned it's 21 nights, but you guys are there from when to when, and how does that work?
Well, usually we're scheduled and we run about 6:15. Some of them get there earlier than that, at 5:30. And we go till we run out or everybody leaves carnival ground.
So if the carnival's over at a particular hour, but there are still people in line, yeah, the carnival's over about 10, but there are still people in line. The line can stretch. You can see in one of the pictures that's flashed up here, I keep thinking I'll catch it, but the line can stretch back and forth across all of the bars and walkways they have to manage the line. And then all out from there, all the way to blend in with the Ferris wheel line. So it always looked like the entire town of Sharptown came all at once to get oyster fritters on that night. And actually, to some extent, that's true. People will, not just in Sharptown, but all over the Eastern Shore, will say, well, I'm going to go get my fritters tonight. And that means they're going to the carnival, but they don't say I'm going to the carnival, they say I'm going to get my fritters. So, so it tells you that it really is the calling card of the carnival. Could I ask you to pass it over to Ms. Marva? I understand that you have a really long-standing family connection to this tradition, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, in the beginning, my mother worked at the carnival. My aunt, which we call Mom Grace, and she worked there until in her 90s. Oh, she got sick, so she had to leave. I have cousins, and we just had one to die last year, and she was there longer than I've been there, over like 50 years. So it's been, something's been handed down.
Mm-hmm. And so in your family, it seems that the women in your family, you just do it because your mother did it or your relatives did it. How is it that it's sort of passed on within the family itself?
Well, like I was asked, and truthfully, you make a little money. But I do it because I want to do it. I like to do something that I see other people enjoy. And if they didn't enjoy it, then I don't think I would feel too good about it.
You found some other way to make money, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you to hand it on back down to Chris. And you mentioned just a just a second ago what the money is used for, and it's used to buy equipment and other things that the fire department needs. I won't ask you to, you know, give us your financial report, but I understand that it is rather successful in helping the fire department meet its needs in terms of what they need.
Just last year we bought, I think 10 sets of bunk gear, and if you don't know what that is, that's the full set of gear that a fireman wears to a fire call. We've purchased rides for the carnival in the past, I think, a merry-go-round and a thing called a tornado. We're there for the fire department when they need something. They come to us, ask for it, and I don't think we've denied them. We've been very successful and very lucky.
Yeah. All right. One of the questions that has come up in some of the newspaper clippings I've seen about the carnival, because this gets reported on in a lot of different places on the Eastern Shore. I mean, everyone just loves these, loves this. And they always are asking about what the secret is. What's the secret recipe? How can I make these at home? And one of the biggest kicks that I got out of this, you know, doing research for this, was when someone had interviewed Miss Marva and said, what is the secret? And she said she was going to give away the big secret to how these oyster fritters are made. And are you guys ready? You ready for the big secret? The big secret is knowing how to mix them and knowing how to cook them.
Because if you fry it wrong, you're out of luck.
So as long as you, I mean, it's easy, no problem. As long as you got that, you're good. So the actual making of the fritters for the Ladies Auxiliary started in 1949, which was about 20 years or so after the carnival itself got started in 1926. I've been studying. So I understand that there had been fritters from the beginning, but the organization and sort of taking it over in a structured way and moving it forward was the Ladies Auxiliaries sort of work in terms of keeping that tradition going. Do you guys have any other comments on that sort of idea of keeping it going and what you expect for the future?
Well, I think unless the fire department decides we're not going to have a carnival, we're going to be there. Unless the cook then happens to catch on fire one night and they're tired. Just joking. We're going to be there for a lot. I mean, it's been going on a long time, and it's going to keep on going.
And so, since we weren't able to bring a fabulous, sizzling, hot, delicious oyster fritter sandwich for everybody in the audience today, can you describe what exactly it looks like, smells like, and tastes like when you have one? Pass the mic to anybody who wants to answer.
My house has smelled my T-shirts from the There are, of course, there you go. They're crispy brown. I don't eat them, so I don't know what they taste like.
Oh, come on! All right, pass the mic over. Pass the mic over.
They're crispy brown. Some people like them with a lot of pepper and some don't. They have to be cooked in a lot of oil. That's the secret. And I'm going to say, come on down. And we'll let you try one out.
Yeah.
Push at the buy.
Yeah. The biggest thing about it to me is that the oyster fritter is always like at least twice the size of the bread. So when you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, can I have a giant, delicious, crispy oyster fritter? And then a couple of little slices of bread because the oyster fritter is just so amazing. Well, these ladies know I'm their biggest fan. I've been harassing them now for almost a year about this. So we appreciate all of you coming out, and we love you guys. We love what you're doing, and we hope you continue to do it for many, many years. Thank you.
All right, the ladies auxiliary of the Sharptown Fire Department. A little something from the governor. So it's hard to actually give an award to a fritter. And so you are receiving the award on behalf of these delicious treats. So here we go. Please put your hands together one more time for the ladies auxiliary of the Sharptown Fire Department.